On Saturday, we've got Bad Blood. I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture. He's Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture, and we're here to bring you our predictions ahead of the Bad Blood PLE this weekend. Let's dive straight into it, Hamflett, with our first match. Or is it? Does this open or main event for you?
Oh, we're going to disagree straight away.
Yes.
Right, off the jump, I think this is going to main event.
Okay.
I think this is going to go on last. I like the idea, guys, get on board with me here, of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre trying to steal the show because they haven't been given the main event. You know, like Undertaker Batista energy from WrestleMania 23, but with the quality of MJF versus CM Punk from Revolution, because I can't even remember what was in that main event. It was some cowboy no, I genuinely...
It was in the main event of WrestleMania 23 with...
I mean, that wasn't cowboy shit. That was just straight up shit. No, it was John Cena and Shawn Michaels, and that won't be anywhere near as good as this right here, this Bloodline tag. This is going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be straight up Fox, Universal, HBO Max, all the cinemas, all the streaming, all combined into one single match. Bloodline main events are, let's be straight about this, really boring for 20 minutes and then utterly exhilarating for the final 5 to 10. And with Cody in the mix, I think this is going to be the best of the lot. I am increasingly becoming convinced that the Bloodline are actually going to win this, because you kind of need to give them something big if you're going to do War Games, if you're going to do Cody versus Roman. And we sense either with Saturday night's main event or possibly Saudi Arabia, that's on the horizon sooner rather than later. So I think the Bloodline get the win, and not only do they get the win, but that's how the show goes off the air, is you having to kind of soak up the devastation of Roman and Cody, the biggest stars, losing as things go off the air, and we see the two executive producer names flashed across the bottom.
Do you think this is the debut of one Hikuleo then?
Tala Tonga, possibly. Well, why not? It's helped the Bloodline in the past when they've just suddenly unleashed their new members when they need them the most. It's helped them win tag matches and multi-man matches before. So it's as good a place as any. And I think if Tonga Loa's debut showed us anything, is that even if you kind of botch or blow it a bit, the surprise and the magic of it all is kind of what's so awesome. So yeah, the Gorillas of Destiny have kind of been used as punching bags for the baby faces. A brand new Bloodline member when Roman presumably thinks he's across everything. Like yet again, Ula Fowler in hand or something, then you just get like Tala Tonga reaching over the top and taking it, thank you. And then in the distraction of it all, he gets taken out and Cody gets pinned.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah. I could easily see that happening, like you say, because you could arguably also have Randy and Kev take out Tama and Tonga.
Neutralise the threat.
And then it's like, oh, we hadn't bargained on a 7 foot tall bastard.
Yeah.
But I'll go the Mega Powers. I will go Roman and Cody getting the win here, and then maybe that's the catalyst for them having to bring in Hikuleo to the Bloodline. Regardless, like you say, I think it's going to be a load of fun. I think this opens the show, or it should at least, because...
Big conversations on Saturday, haven't there?
Yeah, I
ones.
just think probably best to keep Phil a bit sweeter. Put him in the main event and justify how many months has it been of programming with him and Drew? Kind of need to main event
just the 10, it's fine.
To conclude that trilogy. But let us know your thoughts on all the matches, of course, in the comment section below. And let's move on to... Hey, look at him! Hey, there's the shark cage. Who could have booked this? We did. Yeah. It is Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, of course. And Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage. What's not to like?
Is this the hardest match to call on the entire show, right? I appreciate that we might disagree, but I think you could come up with reasonable arguments as to like who your winner is, who your loser is, and why. I can't quite nail this one down. I think as much as Dominic being out of the picture theoretically gives Rhea the runway to just dominate and get revenge and just leave Liv like sort of just screaming for mercy, apologising, oh God, what have I done? My revenge mission was fundamentally flawed and stupid because this day was always going to come and you were always going to get me. But I kind of want to see Dominic try and get out the shark cage as well. I'm not saying he's got the strength to bend the bars, but I'd like to watch him try. I don't think he's the type to be able to sort of bravely hang down in a desperate attempt to save Liv Morgan. But I think we've already nailed the spot in which he does do that when he gets, I don't know, say one of the members is street trash to like work the gears or something, so he gets lowered as low as he possibly can, at which point he sort of tries to get out of the shark cage but lands on Rhea Ripley's shoulders, where what does she do? Hits him with an electric chair.
Yes!
Because we've been wanting that spot for a long time. She's got him up on the shoulders. He's like, no, please, no. And then he gets drilled anyway. But in the chaos of it, does Liv get away with it yet again?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you want to book Rhea finally overcoming her nemesis because of the fact that Dominic Mysterio is no longer involved in all this. But also, feels like a rather short-term way to end this reign because I think I'm really enjoying her.
Yeah.
It's probably my favourite reign of hers as a champion, to be perfectly honest. So I'm conflicted with all this. I'm going to book Rhea winning just to keep things interesting between the two of us.
Yeah.
But do we have a massive swerve here? And basically, long term, I want to get a match between Rhea and Dom involved in all this. But do we have a cash in here?
Ooh.
Completely subverting one. I don't think so.
No, but that would be like, now that Tiffany Stratton's been scared straight by Nia Jax, they could actually delay what feels like an inevitable and have it look as if Tiffany's having to rethink her strategy with the case and think, right, Nia is onto me. She nearly strangled me after death on SmackDown. I think I'll make it seem as if I'm going to take it in a different direction.
Yeah, there's a version of events, isn't there, where maybe even Liv retains, and afterwards, because of Dominic's shenanigans, Rhea kills Dom and then snaps on Liv, riptides her like 3 times or whatever, and is like, right, and then you just have that moment where Tiff passes Rhea in the entranceway.
Music hits, people realise
Tiffany versus Rhea Ripley could be an amazing feud.
The idea that the Queen and the Princess have kind of got like Raw and SmackDown dominated, you just want this, don't you? I've realised what's happened here. We've just like sort of gone into your fantasy booking really of having them both across both shows. I don't know, I just think like Rhea Ripley not having the belt helps her going into Rumble season. I've just seen countless like people, you want your big stars wanting to win the
I want
Rumble.
a moment between Rhea and Jade in the Rumble particularly.
Yeah, true. Oh, I want a moment between Rhea and Jay, so she wins the belts. They can both do. Blink.
Oh yeah.
So I won't mind that. It's like a sort of an allegory for full sex.
But sticking with Judgment Day, Street Trash. Look at him. What a grumpy git Finn Balor is.
I just want this to rule.
Yeah, you're worried about this match, aren't you?
I am. They had a nice match on a nice show in an awful time in your house, 2020. Very different time for both characters, obviously, but chemistry was good without ever necessarily excelling to great, and Damian Priest off the back of a world title run in which I think he silenced a few doubters, but still raised questions with others, maybe needs the odd standout performance away from the title picture, and I hope it's here. Finn Balor is not a bad wrestler by any means, but really, really ask yourself, like right deep in there, when he had one of those matches that you were kind of left with like those kind of like joyous, euphoric memories. I use those words specifically because I know you were in the building when he had his head half caved open in the Hell in a Cell against Edge, and everybody remembers that, but it's
remember
not,
that, Phil?
Yeah.
Oh,
not necessarily for the reasons you want to remember it, right? And like Balor and Priest have so far, for me, curated one moment, capital M, that I'll remember at the end of the year, which is at SummerSlam when Balor's turned on him and then Damian Priest pretty much just leaps through the camera to try and get him. So they're capable of it, and the Judgment Day meant something to people. This is the best chance I think these two will ever have to have their best match. Damian Priest wins. He needs it more.
I agree that Damian Priest needs it more, but I'm going to go Finn Balor winning. I'm just keeping everyone on their toes on the predictions here, because I was just thinking there, at Survivor Series, they've not got one ring, they've got 2 rings, and there's a version of events where the other mega powers, I'm talking Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest,
the Terror Twins,
both hit finishers in opposite rings.
Oh, yeah.
Because they never utilise that enough for me. It's always just like, yeah, we've got this second ring, but we're not really using that until the main event.
Regular listeners to our podcast will know that your ability to change my mind with a dumb gimmick idea.
Exactly.
It's not 100% successful, so I'm in on that now.
And I don't want to book, I've booked Rhea to win.
Yeah.
Or actually have her. I don't know what I've done. Regardless, you Street Trash, you need something with
There's more to this, isn't
there?
Coming out of the pay-per-view, yeah.
And
I just think Priest needs this win. He's lost the title. They've got him over to where they want him to be as a babyface, but I think he's got to kind of prove himself a bit here as well. He doesn't have the numbers advantage.
Balor would be a good opponent for Jey Uso as well.
Yeah, why not?
Because it's like Rhea involvement again.
Yeah, keeps them sort
But
of...
I'm worried about, I think maybe Priest does need the win more, but I think people really sort of underestimated his run as world champion, and I think he proved a lot of people wrong with that, and he's set in my head as a sort of upper echelon kind of wrestler, and just, I love Street Trash. I love to hate Street Trash.
The t-shirt's got a bin on it.
And I didn't book any Carlito, JD McDonough interference in the first match, so I'll book it here.
Also, while we're just briefly on that, keep them peeled for a little bit of JD McDonough street trash seasoning, peppering.
I saw a few glances going on here, isn't there?
He didn't look too chuffed with Dominic Mysterio of late, and like actively rejected like a sort of embrace with him to go and like block him out and kind of like control Finn's affection. So there might already be a little bit of internal strife, some trash within the trashception taking place within street trash.
I like the idea I've just thought of where one way or another Liv Morgan loses, and she's KO'd by whatever it is, whether it's Tiff or whether it's Rhea or whatever, and street trash come out and JD McDonough carries her to the back. Meanwhile Dom's like, guys, and he's like Hans Moleman left in the X-ray machine. Hello, and he's left up there whilst Hell in a Cell goes on later.
I thought you were going to say something like Liv's like so knocked out and so like, oh, I'm so confused, I can't see straight. And like JD McDonough's like carrying it at the back. She's like, Finn, thank you so much for your help, but why's your head so big?
Oh, yeah, I know my boyfriend's a bit of a weasel. Easily confused. But yeah, there's a few matches on this card. I think there's a couple that are really easy to call. Or there's a lot harder. I think this next one is very easy to call, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
The Queen remains on her throne.
Excuse me, who?
Queen Nia, of course.
Thank you very much.
I think she's been sensational since Queen in the Ring.
Yeah.
Deserved winner of that. And if we're not getting the random swerve I just booked, sort of Russo-esque 5 minutes before we go through the curtain, I think we might get a Tiffany Stratton cash in here, to be perfectly honest.
Right, okay.
I just want Tiffany Stratton to be a world champion. Is that too much to ask?
It's not. I'm just trying to approach this show like it's Bad Blood rather than WCW Nitro. But I get where you're coming from. And I think that's to the point. I'm with you 100%. It's Queen Nia, and I'm assuming everything's the same as well. Look, there are simply too many things working against Bayley here, not least the fact that she's just lost the title. You've got the potential of Nia Jax finding yet another awesome way to do the Annihilator, because so far we had Mia Bin and the Lyra Valkyria mid-flight squash.
Jesus.
So, like, maybe Bayley tries to hug her and she just runs her into the corner and annihilates her in fluid motion. Tiffany Stratton as a run-in, Tiffany Stratton as a potential cash-in. All those things stop Bayley winning, but so too could Naomi. She did say following the loss that she would have done things the same way, but she's going to have to like maybe take a second look at how she does things. They've got one more SmackDown after we're recording this, but before this PLE.
With Naomi on that.
Yeah, where we might get to see Naomi yet again lose and feel a little bit out of the picture and that sort of thing. You sense a turn or a split or a big moment is coming, and it might happen here.
Yeah, I don't know why Bayley hasn't got either the Bayley buddies or the music back.
I no longer live with this.
Since before WrestleMania, really. We were hoping for it at WrestleMania.
Well, look,
so the only thing I can think of is that she maybe turns back heel, but then I want to see what a Naomi heel turn looks like as well.
Yeah, they have sort of allowed Bayley to start doing the ding dong hello stuff, like the intentionally antagonistic stuff, but still as a babyface. I've been such a Bayley super fan all these years, and I'm still relieved, as much as I want this sort of stuff, they've been able to mine into a like known like Egyptology hobby and interest that like we've never really been able to talk about for all these years. The real fans know. Bang into Egypt, pyramids, sphinxes, all that sort of stuff. And only this year has she really been able to fold it into that truly abysmal Death Rebel theme. So I'm glad. I don't want Bayley buddies.
Here's an idea. What if, you know that bollocks they had on Dynamite where Kip Sabian nicked a pen for some reason and that meant you couldn't use your cash in?
I'm aware, yeah.
What if Tiffany goes to cash in and Queen Nia annihilates the briefcase, and because they can't get it open to look at the contract, sorry, no cash in. But also, what if Naomi accidentally rear-views the new champion Bayley and Tiffany cashes in at that moment?
New champion Bayley.
Again, I don't know what I want from this
16 title changes, isn't there?
Queen Nia retains.
Yeah. No cash in. Everything.
She's already cashing in.
She's fine to take care of that. Retcon it the next night in your briefcase.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the definite main event of the evening. Oh my God. Look, I get it, some people haven't been a huge fan of this trilogy. And I could agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. This has been great. Really,
I'm with him on this. I'm not going to.
I really enjoyed SummerSlam, and I think, oh look, if you let it play out, where's the violence? Oh look, there was a strap match, and now they're in Hell in a Cell. So maybe let them do the storyline where they use the. You preferred the storyline with the bracelet, didn't you?
I kind of think it peaks the bracelet stuff for me, but I get where people are coming from, wanting a bit more violence, a bit more blood. Now I think you're going to get double blood in this one, double juice, baby. They've pretty much as good as advertised it. Whether or not this is a sign of things to come, not so much with just WWE on Netflix or anything like that, but the idea that they can now promote things a bit more like bloodthirsty-ish when they think the story calls for it. You know, we thought maybe Punk would bleed on the Go Home Raw. He even appeared to be wearing the trousers for it. They called him Mr. White Jeans, but he didn't. So you're definitely going to get it from both of them. Punk's an amazing bleeder. Drew, I can't even remember a time that he would have done, but he's going to get in the mix, and I think he's going to make a kind of memorable moment for himself. I have absolutely no doubt about the quality of this match, and nor should you, even if you're a CM Punk. What have we got for them at this point?
Hater?
Yeah, I don't like that word, but it does feel like
Was it Punk derangement syndrome?
Some people seem to have it. I think he's not wrong when he says yes to. I think this is going to kick ass. I don't have too much worry about the quality of the match. I still can't decide if you make the gutsy call to put Drew McIntyre over, safe in the knowledge that there is nobody quite like CM Punk to immediately rehabilitate themselves, but I'm going to go with Punker.
Yeah, I have to go with Punker on this one as well. I dread to think what they're going to do in here to elevate things, because it feels like they're both so invested in this that they're willing to really take it to the extreme. And it's a huge culmination. That's why main events for me. It's a huge culmination, like you say, of a near year-long storyline with double juice. And Phil, you'll like this. My added nuance to this story. Maybe they brawl outside the cell and fight on top of it or whatever. Claymore on top of the cell or whatever. But after a while, Drew realises, he's really going for me now. I don't think I actually fancy this.
Yeah.
And he goes to leave. And not only does CM Punk shut the Hell in a Cell door, a la sort of Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, aura stuff. You're going nowhere, Taker style. Who's he brought in with him? Larry makes it Hell in a Cell, baby. With Kennel from Hell.
I don't hate that. I mean,
he's yapping at me, little bastard.
It's been a while since we've
Nipping at me heels.
Yeah. A while since we've seen a dog on pay-per-view, but then, would have made for a good barbecue. Also, I think you will see handcuffs in this match. Why? Because what do people sometimes call handcuffs? Bracelets.
Yeah.
Story, you losers. So expect one of them to get cuffed to the cell and hit with it. Maybe you even put the beads around the actual police cuffs.
Pinfall, submission, or just, I think,
stoppage.
Drew gets choked out?
Yeah. I think he a pin, maybe. I think the absolute laid out sort of like pool of blood.
You need a pin, actually, don't you? Because they did the whole, well, you didn't really win, you just touched four corners.
That's how Drew suggested that the strap win wasn't enough. So I think it's a bit of definitive end of thing. I will say this, win, lose or draw, those that want CM Punk eventually as a heel, and I do think we will get that down the road, might see the start of it here, because you will see Punk go to the police and kind of unleash that sort of darker side of himself for the first time, as did happen in the MJF feud ultimately. So I would fully expect this to not necessarily be the making of Punk as a heel, but sow a few seeds that down the line you will see more of this as he turns to the sort of darker side when he's conducted all of his business as a babyface.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough watch, this, though, with the amount of blood I think is going to be spilled. I think the name of the pay-per-view is what it is, but also it just feels like these two are going to be like, if we go too far and get fined, we've got decent amounts of money in the bank.
It's part of how you sell these kind of programs as well, isn't it? You don't have bad blood, then just shake it off.
And on that note, we will leave it. Yeah, Punker wins for me as well. Let us know your thoughts, your predictions in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll be bringing you all the fallout from Bad Blood next week, of course. But for now, it's been the Bad Blood predictions. Why not check out this video in the interim right now? Bye.
We never go out of style.